Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. First of all, I apologize for not being there today. I had a conflict that I realized at the last minute, so this is my attempt to cover those tracks, so bear with me. Today I'm going to be talking about future trends that are likely to affect the workforce. This was part of a college project that I worked on a semester ago, and I thought I would leverage that for my first speech as we're coming back. So there are about 7 developments and trends that I have pinged as significant to the future workforce and to the development of the future workforce. The first one is biometrics. We already are doing biometrics in fingerprint scanning, retinal scanning. The future holds the scanning of the veins in the hand, the scanning of DNA at some point, I suspect. The cost of DNA scanning technology, of biometric technology is coming down to a point where it's going to be more useful than it has been in the past. So look to that to become more used in access control and things such as that. 3D printing is a technology that's huge. We do a lot of it at Francis Tuttle. We 3D print in plastic. We are in the manufacturing community starting to 3D print in metal. We're even starting to do some plastic 3D printing for manufacturing purposes and some metal 3D printing for manufacturing purposes as well, as the cost of the equipment comes down. In the future, we're looking at 3D printing food, we're looking at 3D printing skin and organs. So buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a fun ride. Drones and swarms. We know a lot about drones because they were used a lot in the recent battles that we've fought, but we also use drone technology for a lot of observation. Google, of course, Amazon is looking to use drones for package delivery, and they've already started prototyping that activity. Drone swarms is a technology that has not yet fully developed. They're going to be able to use that to conduct search and rescue operations and to look at pipelines and inspect those pipelines. Autonomous vehicles, of course, are coming down the pike. We all know that. The challenge with autonomous vehicles, I think, will be the cost of infrastructure to support it, but I do think that it's going to happen. The downside will be that there's going to be a lot of transportation workers, like truck drivers, that are going to have to be retrained. Truck drivers, at last count, we're at about 3.5 million in the U.S. alone, so we'll have a lot of people to train. The Internet of Things is simply the connection of all devices and allowing them to communicate in a way that they better take care of us. If you can imagine being in your car driving home, your house warms up to the temperature you like, the dinner that you placed in the oven begins to cook, and the music that you prefer comes on as you walk in the door. That and much, much more is coming down the road with Internet of Things, and it will obviously play a huge part in business as well. Biotechnology is being used in a lot of different ways. It's obviously a big topic here in Oklahoma with Research Park. Nanobots are going to be used to go into the body and target cancer, target disease, count cells, measure things. We'll also be able to grow organs, grow skin more effectively. We'll have that technology perfected. We'll also, as I mentioned, at some point in the future, according to futurists, be able to print organs and skin. We'll also be able to use technology to augment our own capability, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Artificial intelligence is a huge topic moving forward. If you can imagine, we have had all these programmers over the years writing code, and the code keeps getting better and better. And as the code is getting better, the good code is being saved, the bad code is being replaced. It's getting better and better, and it's starting to incorporate more of the nuance of the human thought process. And as that becomes more and more effective, what they project is going to happen somewhere around the 2045 timeframe will be a point where the code that we write is actually able to correct itself, make itself better, and adjust to evolution. So as the evolution of the world continues, it will adjust to its environment. So there's at that point in 2045, there will not necessarily be a need for coders if that is in fact allowed to happen. Elon Musk is running interference on that one. So a lot of these ideas are coming from futurists. There is a guy by the name of Ray Kurzweil from Google that gave a list of items that I'd like to share with you real quick. By 2030, nanorobots will plug into our brain and connect us to the cloud. Nanorobots will lead to radical life extension. I talked about that previously. Cyborgification, connecting computers and computer devices to our actual body to help us think more correctly and improve our emotional intelligence. That will happen as well. We'll be able to 3D print everything. I talked about that. Using a nanorobot, supposedly we will be able to collect memories and take DNA and reproduce a person. We'll hit a point in 2045 where the code corrects itself. As I said, that's called singularity. We'll be able to upload our minds so that we can stop losing memories. And a strange projection, think about this one. I'm not sure how I think or feel about this one, but with an uploaded mind, we can actually have a virtual body. So these are the projections that I have for the future that are going to affect our workforce. I hope that this has been an interesting and perhaps mentally stimulating presentation for you. Mr. Toastmaster, it's all yours.